What is the reason for your own migration script? What is the alternative? Built into Postgres? Or Postgres Neo? Or so let's see. So just in general, right? Migrations are about you have your database and there are some tables in it, right? Or maybe there is nothing and you want to create some initial tables, right? You want to write somewhere, hey, so table one should have these columns and whatever, and you write some SQL describing table one, right? And then later you edit table two, and you have some SQL describing table two, like create table with these fields and whatever. And of course, so in the end, this is what will go to Postgres, right? Create this table, create this table. Now the way to produce these SQLs is, well, first one you just write it, is what I'm doing here, right? I just write like create table check-ins. What is check-in? I guess I dropped it later. I don't know. I just like create table documents, and it has these fields, and there is like first document already in there, right? There is also a way to like ORM way. We're gonna define a class that has some fields, and that's like describing a row of a table, and then we run some like huge Microsoft, like in C Sharp, for example, like .NET, whatever, huge 10,000 lines of code thing that will effectively just produce this SQL scripts in the end. But now you have to learn how to like write this and how this translates into that and how this works and what are the caveats that it outputs SQL in, and like to know. And also this translation layer, right, is not just about Postgres. Or we also support like writing migrations for SQLite. Well, not writing migrations, but translating whatever you have into migrations of SQLite. And we also like have Microsoft SQL Server. But actually we make money from Microsoft SQL Server, so this we don't really implement, and like community, whatever. Maybe they have it. And actually Postgres driver is very good in .NET, so that works. I don't know how SQLite drivers are. There are probably 500 of them. But the thing is, you just want to run this, right? And you have to know it. And why don't you just run this, right? Because if you open this, right, that's kind of straightforward. And one more thing is that because sometimes you want to do this. Hey, I'm gonna make a type in Postgres and it's an enum, right? Um, Basically the same as in Swift. And suddenly how enums work in Postgres is super different how enums work in MS SQL, even if they have them. I don't know. And like SQLite maybe don't have it. I don't know. Right. So this program cannot like even support this stuff, right? So it has to be in a driver. So now you have to know how driver works and what it supports and how to like write it in a way that this doesn't break because they didn't like write this class. So it has like And you just end up saying, like, in your migrations, you just end up saying run this SQL, and now you have a string in C# that's actually SQL and whatever. And now you want to import like your table definitions from entity framework and to know what table names are mapping to like whatever bullshit. uh, and what it gives you, what this gives you, right, is besides like translating and making these files, it gives you like a table that remembers if you run this or not. It like I will assign based on this like class and migration or whatever what's in your folder. I will create a script 1 SQL, 1 up, I'd say 1 plus, and I will also create 1 down. And writing like a down script has the same issue as writing up script, right? So it's like half of it is not supported, it doesn't know how to drop types, and it's a driver and it whatever. But I will like do all of this for you, right? I will know that 0, 1 will only be like from 0 to 1, and 0, 1 down will take you from 1 to 0. So I will like add a tracking table automatically for you. And I'm like, okay, I can just have a tracking table myself. I don't, how is like all of this worth it that you maintain one integer for me, basically. Or like a sequence of +1, -1, +1. Right, and it also like makes sure that you don't like run a migration from 3 to 7, that you go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, right? But that's like a trivial thing to do, because when you already are required to know like this eventually, and also how this is translated to this by this. Like if you don't know, this is like a fake thing. Like people say, oh, we don't care, we just write our classes and .NET takes care of it. We don't need to know how any of this works or how SQL works. We just like write a class and it will be in a database. And that is how you get to like, I don't know, I read the manual and it's not working, I'm done, someone else figured it out. Right, you just have to know this, otherwise you're irresponsible and your imposter syndrome is actually an accurate description of reality, right? Like you have to know this, or at least know to like, I don't know this, but if there is ever something that goes wrong, or like I'll figure it out, right? You have to be ready. Like this is not normal. No, not normal. I guess some people, it's fine, but it's not a responsible thing to like, oh, I don't care database. I just write a class and then I write some like link and it works. Like, yeah, I mean, it can be correct, but someone has to know somewhere eventually. So my answer to all of this, right? So I don't want this. And I actually just want to write SQL because I'm only ever using Postgres. I will never be switching to like Oracle database, whatever. I don't care about the bullshit where, oh my god, what if in 5 years you're web scale and you want to migrate to MongoDB? Then you just not have this problem at all because this script is suddenly blah blah blah. Yeah, and how are you migrating all this bullshit of 5 years to like this is not a problem. The problem is not translating this to SQL. This is not a problem, right? This is not going to be what would make it difficult if you ever need to do that. And like idea that up front we will already take care of whatever may happen 5 years from now, right? Where so like this is just like counter to itself, right? On one hand, we don't want to figure out what SQL is this going to translate to because entity framework is going to take care of it. Fuck it, we don't care for the database. On the other hand, we really care for the database because what if 10 years from now, right? This is just like how is this two things that work, right? So I just write these scripts and then I made a script that makes this table, right? And it's not a difficult problem, right? You just literally run this command. Hey, in order, apply these files, whatever. Right? So first run this file, and then this file, and this file. And what you basically want to do is you have a bunch of files in a folder called migrations that has like a bunch of SQL files, right? And each file is paired to go to like up and down, right? And in your database there is like a table or whatever saying like I'm on version 4 is what I have here. Normally I have like a list of things that were applied. Oh, I'm on version 4. So now you can look in the database and in your folder and know that your folder has 1, 2, 3, 4 file pairs of 5, right? And your database is at 4. What is the difference, right? How to get from here to 5? Well, like it's very straightforward, Dave. And there are more issues in here, like about transactions and whatever. Like, you know, some migrations you cannot do inside of a transaction, certain things. Especially in MySQL, there are a lot of things that you cannot do inside of a transaction. Like you cannot alter a table, I think. Maybe now you can with some like newer or whatever is engines that everyone is using. And then you have to go to like, okay, but how do I tell this process not to make a transaction, but only for this specific thing? And now you're just forced to learn like all of this for literally no reason, when you could have learned this part and be done with it. How to zoom out? So is there something built in? I think so. I'm using like a Postgres Neo, which is a driver to talk to Postgres like over the network. It's not really about tables or whatever, it's just about talking to the database, like on the network protocol level. And on top of it, they have like something called Postgres Kit, which is about like queries and maybe decoding stuff. Like now it's like tables and rows. And above that, they have SQL Kit, which is about, and we also have like MS SQL Kit, and that has like MS SQL Neo, whatever. And then we also have a SQLite Kit and whatever. And here they have like migrations. And I don't wanna, like, I don't care. I don't need to like select star from stuff. I don't need help with that. Yeah, ORM migration rant done. Amazing YouTube video is going to be. Okay, bye. Subscribe. Remember to whatever you do that. Yeah, nice question.